Hey, what's up, guys? Listen, I just wanted to kind of go over some training opportunities here. I know you guys are all busy, so I thought that maybe making a video and sending this out to you would be easier for you to kind of follow where I want to be and also make it a little bit more efficient. So I want to start with trade-in. I want to talk about trade-in. I want to talk about how to do a silent walk around on the trade-in. I also want to talk about what it takes to actually use some word tracks in order to knock down the value on that vehicle, but also create an opportunity for you to get a payment bump. So let's jump in the beginning of this. So first thing I want to talk about is, like, during the needs assessment, counsel qualify, whatever you want to call it, you want to make sure that when you find out that they are trading, that you have a positive comment on their trade. You know, something along the lines of, we love getting those in on trade. They fly right off the lot here. We really have a hard time keeping them in stock. I got a list of folks who are interested in that vehicle. So super grateful that you're trading that vehicle in. That plants the seed that we're going to give them a great value on their trade, and that they should trade it with us, that they don't need to go anywhere else, that that's something that we really, really love, and they're going to kind of in the back of their mind realize, hey, this might be exactly where I need to do business if they're so excited about my trade-in. So that's just a little gem to where you're kind of planting the seed and creating some urgency about trading their vehicle and why we want it and why you want to trade it to us. Okay, so that's the first thing you want to do, is just kind of drop that hint. Now, after the test drive, you want to do a silent walk around. There's a couple different ways to do a silent walk around. Most people probably know what it is. If you're not doing it, you're not going to make the money you should make. You're costing yourself tens of thousands of dollars a year. I'm not kidding you. I completely guarantee it. And the way I'm going to go over it is going to give you a couple of little life hacks that are going to help you actually create an opportunity to even devalue their trade a little bit more, plant some seeds of doubt, and just kind of knock them off their game a little bit. Okay, so first, number one is the proper way to do a silent walk around. Number one, you just want to, after the test drive, you want to park next to it, and then you want to get the VIN number, and you want to get the miles. After that, you want to sit in the car, right? Let's say you're getting the miles, you're sitting in the car, put the key in the ignition, start the car, let it run for literally like 2 seconds, and then turn it right off, and then start it right again. Almost kind of have a little smirk on your face, almost like you heard something that just doesn't sound right, something that's a little tricky, or something that just didn't feel right. You can even put it into reverse with your foot on the brake and see if the engine kind of drops down, which could indicate a broken engine mount or something along those lines. Put it in drive and then put it back. Then check to see if the air is blowing cold. And then while it's still running, pop the hood, get out, lift up the hood. Once again, we're not saying anything. Look at the condition of the engine bay. It's probably going to be super dirty. It's probably also going to have some leaves or some pine needles or something along those lines in there, something that they haven't looked in a long time. And their battery could have corrosion on it. There's a lot of things. You know, the windshield wiper fluid might be empty, and it might be the entire thing might just be super disgusting and filthy dirty. So then just close the hood and then just do your typical silent walk around, right? Touch every imperfection, touch the tires, take your pen and put it in the tire tread like you're measuring it. Any ding, dent, whatever the case may be, take your time, rub on the paint to see if it comes off. You might want to even ask them, can you open the trunk or the hatchback and just see what it looks like, see if it's a pigsty. People know that if their car is filthy dirty, they feel like it's going to be of lesser value. So make sure that you're kind of given every opportunity to expose them for the pig that they might be, okay? So after you kind of do all that around the vehicle, and then make sure you turn it off, keep the keys, go inside, and then start your process, right? Update the information into eLeads, and then you're going to print your worksheet, get your commitment, and then obviously you want to sit down with your trade appraisal, get all that information that's on the front. And then the next step is, before you go to the desk, I want you to turn over the trade appraisal, and I want you to use this word track, and it says something very, very similar to this, if not verbatim, probably verbatim. In fact, I'm going to read it so you get it verbatim. So after you complete the appraisal sheet, flip it over, use this word track. So my general manager gives the most money for vehicles that have been serviced the best. Would you mind sharing everything that you've done to this vehicle money-wise within the last 2 or 3 years? I want to share it with my general manager and get you top dollar for your vehicle, okay? So then you're going to record what they have done and how much they spent. For example, tires $800, brakes $1,200, oil changes $6 over the last 2 to 3 years at $100 per oil change. I replaced the alternator for $1,800, et cetera, whatever the case may be. All right. For that example, take the total number, add that all up, and then divide it by 24. That's $183 extra a month that they, over the course of the last 24 months, that they spent on maintenance and repairs, okay? Now, I did ask them for the top two, for everything they've done in the last 2 to 3 years, but I'm gonna divide it by 24 months versus 36. Number one, because it's gonna show a higher additional cost of ownership, right, with the maintenance and with those repairs. And I'll get them to call me on the 36. So 36 is going to change it, what, 15, 20 bucks. It's not a huge difference, but I'm always going to go for the higher one first. Most people aren't going to say a word, okay? So that's a really good way. And I'll show you down the road when you're negotiating how to use that, okay? But after getting that information, pose this question. If you were going to give or sell this vehicle to one of your best friends, their child or a family member, what would you get fixed to ensure it was a safe and reliable vehicle for them, right? So then they're going to kind of think about some of the things that they're not so sure is working 100% properly, and hopefully they'll disclose those things for you. And then of course, those are things that obviously you can also use to justify the trade-in value down the road, okay? The question can help draw out an unseen issue that may be intermittent, maybe not something that shows up all the time, but for example, on my Honda Accord, every once in a while when I get back in it, my electrical system has completely changed whatever my setting was on the radio, and it's on CD. Yeah, my car still has a CD player. So just for instance, that could be something that I could share with them about, hey, I kind of have this weird little thing that happens with my electrical system. Wow, that's a big red flag. But maybe they just think they're doing you a favor. Like I said, if you were to sell this to your best friend's daughter, what would you tell them about it to keep their eye on, to make sure that it was in either something needed to be fixed or to make sure that it was in good working order, okay? So just a couple of options there that I want you to go over. So after writing all that information down on the back of the trade appraisal, go get your figures from your sales manager, and then we come back out, and obviously you present the numbers, and you're gonna go through all that. I'm focusing right here on the trade. So let's talk about presenting the trade value. So after thoroughly examining your vehicle, comparing it to the other vehicles in our local market, as well as recent sales at the auction, current market value for your trade is XYZ, whatever it may be, right? Now, because we really want to earn your business, we're adding $500 more than what we could purchase your vehicle for under current market conditions. Now, keep in mind, you also receive additional tax benefits that can raise your trade's actual value by up to 7%, right? So that's just a little bit of going back and forth there, explaining to them some things about how we get the values on our vehicle and how to justify it. You're actually justifying it up front with some third-party recognition trades, from auctions and some other vehicles sold in the local area. But after that, move on to the next phase of the numbers presentation. Either you want to close on which payment method they're most comfortable with, or move on to cash down and payments on the Foursquare, that kind of thing. All right. Now, cash down. Here's a real simple word track. Mr. and Mrs. Customer, most lending institutions prefer a 15 to 20% down payment. The benefits can lead to a shorter trade cycle, lower payments, lower interest paid over the term of the loan, and quickly creates positive equity. That being said, how much are you comfortable putting down? You get the number, whatever it may be, 0, 1,000, whatever. And then I'm going to let them know, hey, listen, I'm also going to show you an option B with a little more cash down, as it can dramatically lower your monthly payment. And in the end, it's always your decision, but I want to make sure that I show you both options so that you have all of the information that you need to make a sound decision. Sound good? Perfect. Okay. All right. So here's another word track when you're presenting cash down and payments. So it's not always required to put money down. The benefits can be significant, but how much are you comfortable putting down? All right. So this is when you're talking about money down, and maybe you show them one option of 1,500 and another option of 3,000, and they're like, I don't want to put any money down. You can tell, hey, listen. So just to let you know, it's not required. It's not always a requirement, and as we know, sometimes it is, right? If they have bad credit and there's a loan to value issue, then there definitely can be a concern where we're gonna have to get money down because the bank requires it. But it's not always required to put money down. The benefits can be significant, but how much are you comfortable putting down? You also want to notify them, hey, for every 100,000 you put down, it lowers your payment about $20. And considering we just went from $540 a month with $2K down to $500 down, that's an additional savings of $2,000 if I can get it approved for you. Now, wouldn't you agree that that is a tremendous discount? Okay. Some folks you run into, they'll say $20 a month. I mean, it's, over a course of 5 years, what's that? That's $1,000. You're only saving me $1,000. Well, $1,000 is still $1,000. If I were to hand you $1,000, is that going to make you upset, or is it going to put you in a good mood, right? Put a big smile on your face. I know if someone handed me $1,000, I'm gonna be pretty fired up about it. So $1,000 is still $1,000. Let's not forget that. So here's another scenario. If the cash down is reduced from $2,000 to $500, right? Draw the arrow down on the down payment. Hey, so we were at $2,000. But you said that you can only come up with $500. So when this goes down, what do you think happens to your payment? And draw that arrow going up, right? So what does that do to the payment? Draw that arrow up. Now keep in mind, math is math. I didn't invent it, and it never changes. So lowering of the down payment by $1,500 is going to increase your monthly payment by about $30 a month or $1 a day. Sign right here and I'll get the vehicle ready for delivery, right? So there you've kind of given them the opportunity to work with a lower down payment, but then you've also bumped them in payment. Now they're probably going to want to negotiate that payment, and you know how to do that. So go ahead and get them committed one way or the other, but at least take a couple swings at it to where you're justifying the down payment going down so the payment has to go up. Math is math. I didn't invent it. It never changes. So, that is what it is. Well, I'm not getting a significant discount off of the vehicle. Well, folks, I'm giving you $4,000 off, including the $2,000 rebate plus our $2,000 discount. That's $4,000. If I were to give you $4,000, would you be excited, or would that put you in a bad mood? $4,000 is a lot of money, folks, and that turns into $80 to $100 a month on your payment. That's significant over the course of the term of the loan. So let me get your initials right here. Let's get the car cleaned up for you, and then we can finish this up. That way this weekend you're enjoying your new car as opposed to shopping for it still, right? Okay, so money justification payment bump. So in the beginning of this video, I was talking to you regarding the opportunity to get all of the information on the maintenance cost as well as the repairs that they have done in the course of the last 2 to 3 years, okay? So let's say that they're at a $500 payment, and during that gathering of information about their trade-in, you figured out that between all the maintenance and the repairs that they pay $183 a month over the course of the last 24 months if you divide up the total, okay? So that's $183 a month plus their $500 payment. And you can tell them, hey, you can add that to their current payment to get the real cost of ownership. Folks, your current payment is $500, right? I understand that. On the new car, it's $650. But here, I wanted to show you something, how that you can absolutely afford this vehicle because you've already been affording this payment. So over the course of the last 2 to 3 years, you've done X amount of dollars in repairs and maintenance. That comes out, as I broke it down, I divided it by the amount of months over that time frame, and it comes to about $183 a month, okay? So you actually add that 183, which is true cost of ownership, right? Because over the course of the last 24 months, you paid that $183. You might have paid it in lump sums, but it comes down to that 183. Now, with your $500 payment, that takes your payment to $683. On the brand new car, it's $650 a month. So I'm actually lowering your total cost of ownership. And guess what? You're not going to have to worry about. You're not going to have to worry about any repairs because it's going to be under full factory warranty for 3 to 5 years, up to 70,000 miles or 60,000 miles, whatever the case may be, maybe 100,000 if it's a certified pre-owned. And so you already can afford this payment. You don't have to worry about expensive maintenance. You don't have to worry about any kind of repairs because it's covered under factory warranty. So you see, folks, that the benefit of this brand new vehicle is it's going to save you money over time, and you already can afford this payment because you've actually already been paying it. So reminding them that the fact is that they are getting a new car with warranty, and they will only need minimal maintenance with no out-of-pocket repairs for 3 to 5 years, okay? So those are just a couple of different scenarios that you can use in order to justify the payment bump, as well as kind of making sense to them that they already are actually paying this payment, because the total cost of your car is what comes out of the bank, not what comes out of the bank every month for your monthly payment. But if you got maintenance, if you have repairs, you got to replace the tires, that's all cost of ownership. On a brand new car, you're not going to have those for 3 to 5 years. So that is something to keep in mind, and it's a really good way to justify the payment bump with real numbers, something that they are actually paying for. It's not something that they have to plan for. It's something that they can absolutely cover right now because they already have been, okay? So any questions that you have, I have a printout about this. I'll make sure that you get it. But if you want to role play it, if you want to get in deeper, let me know and we can go from there. Thanks again.